Hello, Cookbook friend. Welcome to this episode of the Cookbook Divas podcast, where we bring you the best new cookbooks that came out the second week of October 2021. My name is Carrie, and I'm here with my co-host Katie, who also is obsessed with cookbooks. It's been a busy week with lots of releases, so let's dive right in.
Yeah, first on my list is animal-inspired meals and snacks for kids. 40 easy recipes that will make eating fun by Jill Mills. So this cookbook is full of simple, healthy recipes that kids will enjoy because all the meals resemble kids' favorite animals. I know I would like this.
Like animal crackers and circus cookies and...
Yeah, but it sounds like they make it even more. So, like, the dishes run the gamut from breakfast delights to lunches and snacks to take to school. And there's even dinner and desserts to make at home, which is very fun. A lot of the animal shapes are going to be like owls, pigs, sheep, and a whole bunch of other fun things.
Hopefully dinosaurs. Do those count as animals?
I say yes, definitely. So there's some recipes like things like a porcupine pretzel pear snack, foxy fruit snack, koala tree treats, gorilla granola cups, and a whole bunch more. So this is going to be great for any parent that's struggling to get kids to eat a well-balanced diet because they get to eat animals.
I thought I was brilliant when I had like a lion-shaped cookie cutter for some reason, and I would cut my nephew's sandwiches using it, and these kids did not like sandwiches, which is really weird and annoying.
Right, yes.
But if the bread was shaped like something, suddenly they were willing to at least taste it.
Ooh, yeah, exactly. So hopefully this helps. This is animal-inspired meals and snacks for kids, 40 easy recipes that make eating fun by Jill Mills.
My first book today is called Bake, Breads, Cakes, Croissants, Coogan Amans, which I think I just said that wrong, macaroons, scones, and tarts. The author is Rory McDonald, who has Michelin-starred experience. So we start the book off with early morning croissants and end with late-night desserts. McDonald reveals the secrets behind his renowned cakes and baked treats, which have earned him a place in the top 10 pastry chefs in the U.S. Woo! He teaches us how to master classic recipes like donuts and eclairs with my favorite, easy step-by-step photography. Yes. He offers 100 creative new twists on classic French and international pastries. And we're going to have to get out our flour, milk, butter, eggs, and sugar and combine them in different ways. But baking is about precision. This is something I'm lacking. So I need this book. And some of the recipes are next day recipes where you have to rest the dough overnight. I am too impatient, but okay.
I am too, yeah.
Or he also means next day recipes. For example, you made too many croissants. You can use them for a croque monsieur sandwich the next day. So that's ingenious. He helps you plan ahead, gives tips and highlights for success. So that is Bake, Breads, Cakes, Croissants, etc. by Rory McDonald. And your next book is about baking too.
I know, I was going to say we're definitely in baking season. So mine is Banana Breads, Loaf Cakes, and Other Quick Bakes, 60 deliciously easy recipes for home baking. This is by our favorite Ryland Peters and Small. And opposite of what Carrie just talked about, this is for easy baking.
Yay!
So Banana Bread had a moment, I guess, in 2020. I think Banana Bread's always had a moment, to be honest.
It's just so good.
It is. It's perfect. So when the lockdown first arrived, anxious shoppers quickly stocked up on food and then found themselves with cupboards full of flour and fruit bowls overspilling with rapidly aging bananas. Actually,
Guilty.
That's true. Yeah, it's so true. And the answer was simple and the resulting baking craze intense. But why stop at banana bread when you can go and do all kinds of things? So they're talking about loaf cakes, by definition, is a bread loaf pan. So anything that's made in a bread loaf pan. So that could mean like even lemon bread, pumpkin bread, so many things. And there's so many flavors you can incorporate into your loaf breads, like chocolate, vanilla, warm spices. But kind of your popular recipes you're going to find, at least in this cookbook, is obviously your chocolate chip banana bread, for one. There's marmalade and almond bread. Lemon polenta loaf, which I'm looking forward to. vanilla pound cake, honey cake. There's a lot in this book. So that's really cool, and it's super easy, which is perfect for the holidays coming up. That's banana breads, loaf cakes, and other quick bakes. 60 delicious, easy recipes for home baking by Ryland, Peter, and Small.
Now we're going to move out of baking for a second. My next cookbook is Buen Provecho, Traditional Mexican Flavors from My Cocina to Yours by Erica Sanchez. She's the author of Aguas Frescas and Paletas, which we covered last year before we had a podcast. And it's a collection of 100 Mexican recipes, but with a unique spin, delivering the authentic flavors everyone craves, but swapping in easy-to-find healthful ingredients, which probably means I'm not allowed to douse my burritos in gobs of cheese. Okay. She covers breakfasts, salsas, meatless meals, important for me, and she includes special recipes for Dia de los Muertos, which is coming up, and other special occasions. So the chapters include tortillas, salsas, breakfast, appetizers, salads, soups and stews, which I've never made Mexican stew before, sides and mains, drinks and desserts, of course, and a holidays chapter. Love it. That's Buen Provecho by Erica Sanchez.
My next book is Conveniently Delicious, How to Cook and Eat with Spontaneity and Joy by Devin Connell. She is the creator and chef of This Is Crumb, and she knows that people with busy lives want simple, delicious meals that are easy to prepare and impossible to resist. She also knows that planning Thursday's dinner on Monday morning doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I do this all the time. Because what happens when you see a picture of roast chicken thigh on Instagram, and now you just need roast chicken. When it comes to her own kitchen, Devin wants to be free of a plan and cook what she craves. This is awesome. So, but if the thought of this non-planned plan has you breaking out in a sweat, take a deep breath and dive into Conveniently Delicious. You'll soon learn that spontaneity is possible, whether you're cooking for yourself, your partner, or casual gathering with friends. If you've got a kitchen that is stocked with the right basics, a combination of fresh produce and shelf-stable items, the opportunities for mixing are endless. Bold, punchy flavors, bright colors, and meals for any day of the week. It's all within your reach. Wow, this is kind of the perfect cookbook for everybody.
It's a pep talk.
Yeah, it really is. I know. I'm like, oh, God, because today that's exactly what I'm doing. I feel very spontaneous at the moment. So some recipes she's given is labneh with bursted tomatoes and dill. She has awesome salads like nectarine, baby gem, fried almond, and feta. Hearty vegetables like roasted acorn squash with hazelnut and fried rosemary. She's got a lot of cool mains, a 10-minute pasta with Italian tuna, olives, and lemon, or salt and pepper flank steak with quick tomato shallot kimchi. Oh my God, that sounds so good. And then, of course, dessert. She knows me, I feel like. She has an upside-down skillet apple crumble or lemon pudding with salted graham crumb, and that's amazing. So there's a lot of really awesome recipes in here. This is Conveniently Delicious, How to Cook and Eat with Spontaneity and Joy by Devin Connell.
I am heading back to Mexico with my next book, Dining with the Dead, A Feast for the Souls on Day of the Dead by Mariana Nuno Ruiz and Ian McEnroe. Dining with the Dead is an unforgettable cultural and culinary odyssey. Traditional celebratory Mexican food is the soul of this one-of-a-kind cookbook. You can learn to make tamales, although I warn you, they take a long time to make.
Oh, God, yes.
Pozoles, pan de muerto, and many other festive, iconic dishes. We'll learn about altars, sugar skulls, and decorations along the way. We'll unlock the essence of chiles. We'll make scratch tortillas, and we'll perfect the king of the moles. I have never attempted mole. So there's 112 delicious recipes, 540 photos. Hello,
Holy
love it.
Holy moly. Oh, I didn't mean for that to be a joke.
Well, you did a good job. And our listeners, we apologize for being dorky.
I know.
So we'll also learn the origins of Dia de Muertos, and I think those of you that would be tempted to buy this book already know the origins, so you're buying it for the recipes. Anyway, that is Dining with the Dead by Mariana Nuno Ruiz and Ian McEnroe.
My next book is The Dutch Oven Cookbook, 60 Recipes for One-Pot Cooking by Louise Pickford. I don't actually have a Dutch oven, so this is really interesting.
Is that a Christmas hint?
No. No. So, there's recipes for casseroles, braises, pastas, rice dishes, and so much more. A Dutch oven is an iconic piece of kitchenware that apparently I don't own. Goodness. So she goes through all the origins, but by the 1920s, a well-known French brand, now synonymous with the lidded casserole, was supplying them to French restaurants specifically for cooking their most popular dish, coq au vin. I think I've heard of this from Julia Child. But Dutch ovens can be very costly, as, yes, that's something familiar to me. How do you make sure that you put yours to hard work? With this collection of 60 tried and tested recipes, you can impress with classic dishes ranging from beef bourguignon and slow-cooked Greek lamb to one-pot Spanish seafood stew. But what you can cook in a Dutch oven is not limited to these European-style casseroles. You can also serve up comforting home-cooked favorites from Cajun chicken gumbo, mac and cheese, short ribs, carnitas, and spinach and cheese strata. Plus, discover exciting new recipes to expand your repertoire, including kale and squash lasagna and sriracha braised brisket, and even a loaf of Dutch oven bread. Wow, I had no idea Dutch ovens could be this versatile.
You should come over and we'll play with mine and try to make gluten-free Dutch oven bread, but I refuse to make kale and squash lasagna because I really don't care for kale or squash.
I actually agree with that. That's fine. We can do that. We could do mac and cheese. Anyway,
yes.
So that's the Dutch Oven Cookbook, 60 Recipes for One Pot Cooking by Louise Pickford.
I have a cookbook that I'm going to gift my stepmother for Christmas, and she doesn't listen to the podcast, so she won't be ruining the surprise. It's Italy, all about pizza, pane, and panini, regional pizza, bread, and sandwich traditions by Italy. She loves Italy. She shops there every time she goes to Vegas. Oh, she won't stop talking about Italy. So, Italy's expert bakers and pizzaiolos deliver the instruction and inspiration to create your own traditional Italian pizzas, breads, and sandwiches, because they know that more of us than ever are baking at home now.
Yeah.
And I just went back into isolation to get ready for the winter and fall, and so I'm going to be baking at home more too. So this cookbook will give me info on making homemade pizzas and calzones, breads to use for my sandwiches, and panini, and the first thing I would try baking out of this is focaccia. Anyway, they're going to give us tips on the sidebars of the book that explore diverse ingredients for toppings and sauces to put on the pizzas. I can't just put basil and tomato every time. Boring. So that is Italy by Italy.
Next up is Earth to Table Bakes, everyday recipes for baking with good ingredients as opposed to bad ones. This is by Bettina Shorman and Aaron Schiestel. The recipes in Earth to Table Bakes are designed for everyday baking at home, for indulgent moments shared with family and friends, and for celebrations small and large. With quality pantry essentials, you'll soon be whipping up an impressive array of baked goods. This includes mouth-watering salted tahini chocolate chunk cookies, almond anise biscotti, wild blueberry ginger lattice bars, lemon ricotta muffins, strawberry glazed chai cake. That sounds really good and interesting. Oh, it's chai cake donuts. Sorry, I got very excited because of donuts. There's plum and cardamom coffee cake. There's even savory baking in here too, which is really cool, like English muffins, garlic, kale, and goat cheese goat cheese souffle. There's spring onion and roasted mushroom tarts. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. In addition to chapters with recipes for cookies, bars, and squares, scones, muffins, and biscuits, pies, and so much more, there's 4 seasonal sections that highlight fresh and local ingredients. So this is very, very cool. This is Earth to Table Bakes, Everyday Recipes for Baking with Good Ingredients by Bettina Shorman and Aaron Schiestel.
I think that's the one I'm most excited about right now.
Yeah, it's really cool.
They mentioned pumpkin pudding jars. That sounds so fun.
Ooh, yum. Yeah, so good.
So speaking of autumn and winter, my next book is Fireside Food for Cold Winter Nights. More than 75 comforting and warming recipes by Ryland Peters and Small. Love them. They suggest that winter is the perfect time to stay indoors and prepare comforting home-cooked meals. Yes, That said, if I'm indoors all day, warm and cozy, I don't need the comforting meals. But since my boyfriend drags me on long hikes and walks with the dogs, then I come home cold and then I need the comforting meal. So Lizzie Kamenetsky helped Ryland Peters and Small write this, and she got her inspiration for the recipes from snow-covered mountains and ski towns and cozy winter cabins. And her recipes are perfect for snuggling up against the cold in front of a crackling log of fire. I love it. So she has recipes for a hearty winter salad, a bowl of steaming soup, a satisfying plate of dumplings, or a rich casserole for the evening, creamy gratins, which I only know how to make potato gratin, but I want to learn how to do cauliflower. Anyway, tasty supper skillets, slow-cooked meats, and deep-filled pies. And she also has a fondue recipe in here, yay, and a rustic fruit tart or a baked souffle spiked with a little warming winter spirit for dessert. I love it. I have to buy this. Fireside food for cold winter nights from Ryland Peters and Small and Lizzie Kamenetsky.
This cookbook's going to be really great for those of us with gardens. I did really poorly this year. I'm a little ashamed. But this is Flavors from the Garden, Heirloom Vegetable Recipes from Roughwood by William Woyce Weaver. That's a mouthful.
That's a tongue twister.
I know. So William he's an expert in he's a chef, he's an author, and a custodian of Roughwood Seed Collection. The recipes follow the seasons. Each chapter guides all of us from the garden to the kitchen to the table. This is really cool. So if you're somebody that actually grows and harvests and cooks and does all of that, even preserves, this is going to be a great asset for you. So some of the dishes included are fresh salads or slaws, stir fries, and hearty soups, baked goods, even things like marmalades and pickles and preserves for, if you wanted to keep. I need to learn how to do tomatoes, for instance. I have so many tomatoes and then a lot of it goes to waste. So this is a really, really cool cookbook, especially for those of us that want to start being more sustainable and producing our own stuff. And I just think it's really amazing. It comes with a lot of awesome tips and great ingredients. So this is Flavors from the Garden, Heirloom Vegetable Recipes from Roughwood by William Woyce Weaver.
Now let's get ready for Christmas and the holidays with the It's a Wonderful Life, the official Bailey Family Cookbook by Inside Editions. Now prepare yourself, sit down, and get ready to get angry and downvote us. I've never actually seen the entire It's a Wonderful Life movie.
Oh my goodness.
I've seen parts of it, and whenever it comes on, I change the channel because I'm like, well, I can't watch in the middle, or I can't watch at the end, so I've never actually seen the entire. So
Shame.
The official Bailey Family Cookbook brings George and Mary Bailey's Christmas recipes and traditions into your home. You celebrate the holiday spirit of Bedford Falls. It's just in time for the movie's 75th anniversary.
Oh
so I've been alive 52 years out of that 75 and never managed to see the movie.
Oh my God.
And the
Carrie.
cuisine is directly inspired by the beloved film. So there's more than 50 recipes, such as oven-braised corned beef with mustard sauce, Clarence's angel food cake, and classic mulled wine. And they also give you ideas for holiday crafting and tips for how to throw the ultimate vintage Christmas party. That would be super fun.
That's cute.
That's It's a Wonderful Life, the official Bailey Family Cookbook by Inside Editions that puts out all of these cool pop culture cookbooks.
That's awesome. My next cookbook is another one I'm very excited about. It's the Korean Vegan Cookbook, Reflections and Recipes from Oma's Kitchen. This is by Joanne Lee Molinaro. Oh, I'm obsessed with Korean food. I love it so much. So she's captivated millions of fans with her powerfully moving personal tales of love, family, and food. In her cookbook, she shares a collection of her favorite Korean dishes. Some are very traditional and some are reimagined, as well as poignant narrative snapshots that have shaped her family history. It's really fascinating. She also has a TikTok, so I would definitely check her out. Joanne reveals that she's often asked, how can you be vegan and Korean? And I have to admit, this is a question I've actually asked when I saw this cookbook.
Well,
I was like, what?
Yeah. And as a vegetarian, I have hardly ever been to Korean restaurants because I can't have fish sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
So, and a lot of us only know it for the fish sauce or like barbecue, like Korean barbecue. So grilled meat is pretty big in Korean food, but there's so many other things there. So Joanne gives us a glimpse of kind of her table, the things that she uses that are fully plant-based, gochujang, which is actually kind of amazing, dashima, and then fermented soybean paste. There's a lot of things that are actually just that are totally Korean, that are super flavorful, that don't have meat or any fish or any of that. So some of the recipes come straight from her childhood. For instance, she has a Korean Chinese black bean noodle that she would always eat on her birthdays. She has gamja gook, I think I said that correctly, potato and leek soup that her father makes. That's the gamja gook. And then she's got things like chocolate sweet potato cake, which is an ode to the two foods that saved her mother's life after she fled North Korea. So like I said, check out her TikTok. She does talk a lot about North Korea and the foods from there. So it's very, very cool. So everybody check out the Korean Vegan Cookbook. It's really cool. Reflections and Recipes from Oma's Kitchen. This is by Joanne Lee Molinaro.
My next book is not quite a cookbook, but I included it because there's a recipe at the end of it. It's a children's picture book called Lentil Soup. It's for grade levels 1 to 3. The author is Carol Tremblay. So when a younger brother decides his soup is too hot to eat, he starts peppering, haha, get it, his older brother with questions. Where do lentils come from? What are those white things? Why is it called celery? One question leads to another and another, as it does with small children. And the older brother answers all of the questions with humor and dwindling patience. Through questions and jokes and riddles, we're going to learn about lentils, tomatoes, salt, pepper, and everything else we need to make a good lentil soup, including a recipe for readers to make it themselves. So I had to include that. That's Lentil Soup, a children's picture book by Carol Tremblay.
Next, I have a cool Italian cookbook. It's Gennaro's Limoni, Vibrant Italian Recipes Celebrating the Lemon. This is by Gennaro Contaldo. Lemons were and still are a part of daily life for locals of the Amalfi Coast, and Gennaro continues this tradition in his everyday cooking. From the sliver of zest in the morning, espresso to help him with minor ailments, and even household chores. Interesting. Lemons have a wealth of uses. No part of the lemon is wasted. You have the flesh, the pith, and skin. They're all chopped into salads. Juice is drizzled over meat, fish, and veggies, while the aromatic zest adds a complexity to a dish's flavor. Even the leaves are used to wrap meat, fish, and cheese for extra flavor, or finely chopped and made into a tea infusion. Very cool. So some of the chapters that are included in this book are The Amalfi, a little history, including stories of Gennaro's childhood, lemons in the kitchen, salads and appetizers, pasta and risotto, meat and fish, veggie and vegan, dressings and sauces, desserts, and drinks. So check out Gennaro's Limoni, Vibrant Italian Recipes Celebrating the Lemon Cookbook by Gennaro Contaldo.
I definitely hope the publisher will send us a copy to look through on video. If not, I'm just going to have to buy it. I love lemons so much that I have 4 miniature lemon trees in my home. We just got done taking them in for winter.
Yeah.
And I'm about to harvest a couple lemons that I grew myself, but they took a year to ripen. So I'm promised myself I would make one into a margarita and cook with the other one.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
So speaking of fruit, my next book is Martha Stewart's Fruit Desserts, 100+ delicious ways to savor the best of every season. It's a baking book by Martha Stewart and her editors of Martha Stewart Living Magazine. So they're taking us from perfectly ripe peaches and plump, tender figs to crisp honey sweet apples and bright, juicy citrus, like we were just talking about.
Yum.
The book celebrates easy-to-prepare recipes that highlight the fresh, vibrant flavors of fruit at its peak. In spring and summer, they'll suggest warm weather desserts such as red fruit pavlovas, vanilla rhubarb tart, and a double crust peach slab pie. And then when the days grow shorter and cooler, as they are right now for us in October, their recipes include apple fritters, fig and almond crostata, poached pear and cranberry pie, yum, and I don't know if I would eat this, a polenta grape snacking cake. Nothing against polenta, but it's too healthy. So that is Martha Stewart's Fruit Desserts.
So I'm going to move on to preserves, and every time I think of lemons and fruit, I actually do think of preserves, so it's kind of funny. So my next cookbook is The Modern Preserver's Kitchen Cooking with Jam, Chutney, Pickles, and Ferments. This is by Kylie Newton. There are over 30 recipes for jams, chutneys, ferments, and pickles, and there's 70 dishes in which to use them. That's really cool because I know that I get stuck with jams and I don't know what to do with them.
Other than toast, which is too boring. Like,
exactly.
Really? Can I do better?
You can only do it so many times. So try using your preserves in delicious recipes such as pickled pea frittata, breakfast kimchi eggs, deep fried camembert with cranberry sauce, and dukkha. I have not heard of that before. And peach and mint jam mini galettes. This sounds really good. So how do I eat it? Was the most asked question with passion when Kylie Newton sold her preserves on her market stall. So she shows us not only how to make them, but also how to use them. That's really nice because, you know, we can make them all day, but then it's like, I have a closet full of this stuff. So the recipes inspire you to make your own or to reach into your condiment ghost town shelf of half-eaten jams and pickles in the fridge. And
Guilty.
I know, I'm like, this is for me. So she guides us through this whole thing and helps us avoid waste, add character to family food, and rediscover the restorative joy of cooking. So that's the Modern Preserver's Kitchen, Cooking with Jam, Chutney, Pickles, and Ferments by Kylie Newton.
I personally have 4 mustards that we haven't even dipped a spoon into for months.
Oh my God.
But they're different. You know, one's Dijon, one's honey mustard, one is the typical French's for when kids come over for hot dogs.
Yep, I've got the same problem.
I need to use my mustards more.
Yeah.
My next book is Mooncakes and Milk Bread, Sweet and Savory Recipes Inspired by Chinese Bakeries by Christina Cho. She's a food blogger from eatchofood.com, and she'll introduce us to Chinese bakery cooking with fresh, uncomplicated interpretations of classic recipes for the modern baker. So inside, there will be sweet and savory baked buns, steamed buns, Chinese breads, unique cookies, whimsical cakes, I'm all about whimsical, juicy dumplings, Chinese breakfast dishes, and drinks. So for example, steamed barbecue pork buns, pineapple buns with butter, silky smooth milk tea, and chocolate Swiss rolls all make an appearance because a book about Chinese bakeries wouldn't be complete without them. And she will teach us to do things such as knead dough without a stand mixer. I know how to do that. I'm a good kneader. How to avoid collapsed steamed buns. I didn't know that was a treacherous problem, but now I do. She'll teach us to infuse creams and custards with aromatic tea flavors. Ooh.
That's yum.
And mix the most workable dumpling dough. I am definitely guilty of over-mixing my dumpling dough and making it tough. And then she'll teach us how to pleat dumplings like an Asian grandma. So this is the first book to exclusively focus on Chinese bakeries and cafes, but it's not just for those that are nostalgic for Chinese bake shop foods. It's for all home bakers who want exciting new recipes. Love it. I'm going to buy it. Mooncakes and Milk Bread by Christina Cho.
Next up is sweets, super delicious cakes, cookies, cupcakes, cobblers, pies, pops, and more by Publications International. There are more than 80 recipes for snack cakes, layer cakes, cupcakes, cookies, bars, brownies, donuts, monkey bread, pies, crisps, cobblers, and frozen ice cream treats. Oh, there's so many things. When you need an explosion of color and sprinkles to make a celebration extra festive, try rainbow sheet cake, celebration brownies, or chocolate-covered cheesecake pops. If you're craving chocolate, do devil's food cake. There's brownie ice cream treats in here, or super chocolate cookies. For bite-sized treats perfect to keep around for when you just have a sweet tooth randomly, there's butterscotch chocolate divinity. That sounds very elegant. There's chocolate-covered espresso pops and candy bark. There's so many there's so many desserts in here. If you just want desserts, all the sweet things, get this cookbook. It's sweet, super delicious cakes, cookies, cupcakes, cobblers, pies, pops, and more. This is by Publications International.
My next book I'm going to read about to you, even though I'm a lifelong vegetarian.
Oh, wow.
It's The Ultimate Guide to Meatballs, 100 Mouth-Watering Recipes, Sides, Sauces, and Garnishes by Matteo Bruno. So a meatball is one of the simplest recipes you can make, apparently. I've never tried. I have, however, reheated frozen Trader Joe's meatballs for my boyfriend in tomato sauce. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
So meatballs make the perfect dish for a Monday night family dinner or finger food for a Sunday football feast or bulk cooking for meal prep throughout the week. And he offers 60 innovative and downright delicious recipes, including vegetarian meatballs. All right, thank you.
Oh, there you go.
So, for example, meatballs rustico that are devoured with crusty bread to sop up the sauce, seared beef carpaccio meatballs. He recommends you pair them with a glass of Prosecco. Pork, peanut, and water chestnut meatballs, served simply in a lettuce cup. Honey glazed chicken meatballs, red devil meatballs, which are supercharged with red chili. Woo! Prawn balls, which I didn't realize would count as meatballs, but yeah. And he suggests serving them on a stick. And now here's some of my vegetarian ones: corn and quinoa, chickpea and cauliflower, which are supposedly creamy and decadent, and finishing up with tofu and mushroom meatballs. Sold. I think I will buy this cookbook and use it to make meatballs and make my boyfriend touch the meat and make his own meat ones. That is Ultimate Guide to Meatballs by Matteo Bruno, and that's my final cookbook for the day.
Yeah, and my final cookbook is Voom Vegan Cakes. More than 50 recipes for vegan-friendly bakes that not only taste great, but look amazing. This is by Angela Romeo. Whether you are a full-time vegan or you choose to cut out animal products whenever, there's no need to miss out on your favorite cakes. Baking without eggs, butter, and milk is not only possible, but also easy and just as delicious as what you are used to baking. There are now so many alternative ingredients available from supermarkets and health food stores, and with her help or her recipes, you'll have all the know-how and inspiration you'll need to start baking. I'm learning this as we're watching the Great British Bake Off show, that there is a lot of vegan options. So you can bake small treats such as lemon meringue and marbled go nuts cake, bakes including indulgent chocolate chip brownies and gin and tonic tray bake.
Ooh.
That's interesting. We have everyday bakes like Rubio's tea loaf. Oh, that sounds amazing and totally different. There's fancy large bakes for huge occasions like pistachio, lime, and raspberry wowzer cake or chocolate and salted caramel mud cake. Also included are show-stopping seasonal treats, including vegan vanilla thriller for Halloween, that's coming up, and Knickerbocker glorious cake for summer days. So that sounds really awesome, and there's 50 recipes, so that's Voom Vegan Cakes. This is by Angela Romeo. And that concludes our list of brand new cookbook releases for the second week of October 2021. For more cookbook content, come join us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Carrie and I also do cookbook reviews on our Cookbook Divas YouTube channel, so come join us there also. If you enjoy our podcast, make sure to leave a review and rating and tell your friends too. Stay tuned every Friday for new podcast episodes. Thank you guys so much for listening and happy cooking.